Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in this video I'm going to go over 10 classic movies that I would love to see get a 4K upgrade. If you're a longtime 4K collector, you know often when it comes to classic films, they look excellent on the format. I don't know what it is about this particular generation, or maybe the various studios or boutique labels are putting a little bit more care and attention into these classic films, and when they arrive on physical 4K, oftentimes they are just the best versions of themselves on a home format. I mean, behind the scenes, we get a lot of restoration work on these classic films, which I think really, as film lovers, we appreciate. But with the 4K format, you get that addition many times of HDR. I think it really adds more than it would, I would say, arguably takes away. And, I mean, just look at The Wizard of Oz. That movie bursts with color. I mean, it is gorgeous. And just other films such as Spartacus. Another Kubrick film, 2001: Space Odyssey, looks amazing on physical 4K. So, I mean, Casablanca, I mean, a lot of black and white films really give you that more, like, deeper black levels. Grayscale is a little bit more stable, and just the overall clarity to the image really is improved over what we've gotten in previous editions. So yes, I am a big fan of classic films. I want to see a lot more of them coming to 4K, and I think more often than not, a lot of the ones I'm going to include in this list I'm going to talk about in the video, I think will eventually make their way to 4K. As with all my list videos, this will of course be my personal list. Yours will be very different, but I do encourage you, what would you like to see classic movie-wise put on physical 4K Blu-ray? Let's talk about it down below. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into my first pick. I was a little hesitant putting my first pick on this list, not because I don't think it deserves a physical 4K release, quite the opposite. In fact, I believe that it is already going to be getting a physical upcoming release with the potential Columbia Classics Collection Volume 4, and I'm talking about On the Waterfront, starring Marlon Brando. I love a good noir crime thriller just in general. I mean, Touch of Evil, one of my favorite classic noirs, got a physical 4K release from Kino Lorber, and it looks fantastic, by the way. But right up in the same alleyway, you've got this film, and I think it's more or less underrated, especially with today's audiences. But imagine what a physical release of this film would do and look like. I think it would bring a lot new attention to the movie. It would, I think it definitely deserves it. And once again, more than probably any other movie I put on this list, I think it's probably a lock for an upcoming collection. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, check this one out, and hopefully one day it will be on 4K. My next pick is a twofer because usually when I watch one film, I always watch the other. I like to make it a double feature. And if you've never seen The Uninvited or The Innocents, do yourself a favor, check them out, but I would love to see these get 4K upgrades. Coincidentally, they're both being handled on Blu-ray from the Criterion Collection, so maybe one day we'll see 4K upgrades from the label. I would not say no to that. But classic ghost stories from old Hollywood, I think really, where you have to use your imagination more than you see a visual effect on screen. And they're always just very moody and atmospheric. And both of these films have such an influence on modern cinema, especially when you're talking about ghosts and haunted houses and that sort of thing. So yeah, I would love to see both of these movies get a 4K upgrade. Criterion, let's make that happen. So yes, check these out. Over on the Criterion channel, they're having a playlist of actor James Stewart and director Anthony Mann's films, and I've got to say, after going through all of them, they are great, and I would love to get any of these on 4K. I mean, you have movies like Bend of the River, The Man from Laramie, Strategic Air Command, The Glenn Miller Story. I mean, these films, especially the Westerns, would look fantastic on 4K because you have that gorgeous scenery. These movies are great looking. And if you give it that 4K love and attention, I think these would sell really well, and it may bring more attention to this great actor-director duo. If you can't wait, head on over to the Criterion channel and watch these movies. But oh man, I would love to see these on physical 4K. Of course, when you think of classic Hollywood movies, you think of epics, you think of grand scales, and movies like this next one, Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor, would look amazing on 4K. But of course, as we all know, Disney owns the 20th Century Fox library, so getting a 4K upgrade of this one is probably not going to happen anytime soon. I sincerely wish that Disney would either just, send these off to another label such as Criterion or Kino Lorber or Arrow Video and just have them do the work on it, because this movie deserves the best possible presentation. I mean, it is epic in scale and it would look gorgeous on the format. So this is definitely a wish list item, which will probably stay there for quite some time. But yeah, let me know down below if you would love to see Cleopatra on physical 4K. This next one is another 20th Century Fox title owned by Disney, so we're not going to be seeing a proper 4K disc of this anytime soon. And I'm talking about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I know there's a 4K digital version out there, but I want to see more than a resolution bump. I want to see a proper restoration, give it some good HDR, and really, I mean, with the cinematography in this movie, it would look gorgeous on the formats. I mean, I love good classic Westerns. I mean, Paul Newman, Robert Redford are great together, and I think the movie deserves a lot better than what it currently has on 1080p Blu-ray. A restoration, a nice HDR grading, and just give it a nice special edition while you're at it. So once again, Disney owns it. It's not going to happen, but who knows what the future holds for this one. My next pick is what I would consider probably going to be a lock to make its way to physical 4K. It's handled by Paramount, so as long as they don't muck it up, it should look really good. But Breakfast at Tiffany's, starring the legendary Audrey Hepburn, would look great. I mean, just look at Paramount's release of My Fair Lady, which I think is stunning. And they have the upcoming release of Roman Holiday, which I'm very excited about. So it would be kind of crazy sauce not to include Breakfast at Tiffany's in an upcoming physical 4K release. I'm sure this one's going to happen, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But I mean, really, Audrey Hepburn is a legend and one of my classic Hollywood crushes. So yeah, anything Audrey Hepburn, this one in particular, I would love to see get the physical 4K release. When it comes to director Alfred Hitchcock's films on 4K, Universal in particular does a really good job. And I would like to see Warner Brothers stand up to the plate. So take this combo of Hitchcock and Cary Grant, bring out Suspicion and North by Northwest on physical 4K. Now, if you aren't aware, Suspicion is a really good thriller, and it has such a good role for Cary Grant. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a different turn for him. And of course, the classic North by Northwest. I think both of these titles would look great. I mean, you have North by Northwest, the cinematography would look gorgeous. Give it a nice restoration on both films, bring them out on physical 4K, and you know what? All those other studios holding the rights to Hitchcock films do the same. But yeah, these two in particular, I would love to see get a physical 4K release. Of course, I can't have a classic movie list without at least one Humphrey Bogart movie, so for my pick as a potential 4K upgrade, that would be The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Now, I was originally going to put The African Queen on here, but I'm pretty sure that one is coming to 4K. I heard rumors about it, and I think I even included it in one of my 4K pre-order videos a while back. So yeah, that one I would love to see it on 4K. I'm pretty sure that'll happen, but The Treasure of the Sierra Madre I think could use a little bit more love. Maybe give it a full restoration and put it on the format. If you haven't seen it, I would say it's a adventure thriller movie, and it's a somewhat darker turn for Humphrey Bogart. I really recommend you check out the movie at any rate, but a 4K upgrade for this one, I would love to see it happen. I could easily do a classic international most wanted 4K video, and I may actually do that if there's interest, but really, for me, anything Akira Kurosawa on 4K would be most welcome and appreciated. But for the purposes of this list, one of my favorite films, Throne of Blood, deserves a 4K upgrade. Really, the man has such a legendary, filmography. You have Sanjuro, Yojimbo, Seven Samurai. I mean, there are so many Kurosawa movies that deserve a 4K bump. I know that Criterion is putting out a 4K release of Dreams in the very near future. And of course we had Ron released not too long ago, but oh geez, I would love to see anything Kurosawa make its way to 4K. So hopefully as the time goes by, we get more and more, but yeah, definitely anything I would love to see arrive on the format. And of course I had to finish this list off with probably one of the last remaining great epic films yet to arrive on 4K. Every once in a while you hear a rumor or a whisper, but really, BenHur, you don't get much more epic and grand scale than this one. And if you judge it based off of Spartacus and other similar themed kind of movies, you are going to get an amazing 4K upgrade. This is one I think is going to happen. I do. And then who knows when it will, but really, BenHur on 4K, it's so legendary, it's epic. I'm actually holding off watching it again because I really want to see it on 4K. I think really you get that gorgeous cinematography, and hey, even upgrade the audio because they did so with Spartacus. So I would love to see get the full treatment on BenHur. I believe this will happen. It's just really a matter of when, but yes, that one is a must-have for a 4K upgrade. So those are my 10-ish classic movies that I would love to see get a 4K upgrade. Hopefully most of these will arrive more sooner rather than later. But now it's your turn in the comments section below. What classic movies, both Hollywood or international, would you love to see get a 4K upgrade? Let's talk about it down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.